Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Living the Sweet Life. I'm your host, TJ Sweet, and on this podcast, we are committed to helping you go from where you are to where you want to be. We're going to help you do that by helping you reshape your mindset, help you live with intention, and then learn how to look at the world through a grateful lens. And first of all, before we get into our topic today, I want to say thank you for spending time listening to these podcasts, watching these podcasts on YouTube as well. Your support inspires me to grow and become better and think of new ways to reach more of you in a more meaningful way. And if you haven't hit subscribe, go ahead and do that now so that you get notifications when these episodes come out every Monday. Again, as you know, Mindset Monday. So as we continue to go through this personal growth and professional growth journey, I want to say that we're gonna do some things a little differently with this podcast. Because we have been recently shifting towards more of just a leadership philosophy and strategy and, leading with intention. We're not going to deviate from that, but we're going to add in some different things here because there's a really, really powerful piece of advice that I got a long time ago. And you'll hear it a lot, but we deviated a little bit. So full ownership, right? So learning and growing on this podcast with you. So we deviated, just went straight to leadership. But this advice, it reminded me, as Brian here on my team, as we were having discussions around meaningful content for you all, we started to think about how do we continue to personally grow while we professionally grow. So this quote, this idea, this philosophy of work harder on yourself than you do on your job, that's what resonated with us. That is what's going to drive the content moving forward for all of you. The messages, the examples, because if we grow as a person, if we grow with intention in our personal lives, we can't help but become better leaders. And by leaders, I mean showing up in a more meaningful way in our own lives and for the lives of the people that we get to have in our lives. So we're going to do a little bit of both. There's going to be some work on you weeks of content, right? As you know, these episodes come out every week. But we're also going to dig into this work on your job, work on your career. I don't really love the word job, but work on your passion and what fuels you. We're going to work on that too, because we can't just do either one of these in a silo. We have to understand that everything impacts everything else. So we're going to have some work on you weeks, and this week is one of them. This is going to be our first work on you week with a new strategy of delivering you some great ways and some great stories and great examples and great wisdom that I've learned and my mentors have learned and shared. So first thing, we're going to settle in, not think about the things that are causing us stress. We're going to settle in and realize that we are here to grow. We're here to learn as a person and as a leader in our own lives. So this week, we're going to be diving into a timeless principle. We're going to be uncovering the profound lessons and some of these, hidden in the unassuming world of ants. Yeah, I said ants. The tiny powerhouses of persistence and determination. Now, life isn't just a series of events. It's a journey filled with growth and resilience and transformation. So maybe, we take a page or maybe even the whole chapter from an ant philosophy and learn how to persist and thrive and unlock our fullest potential. So you're probably thinking, ants? Yeah, we're going to talk about ants and their philosophy. So they're really the perfect example of persistence. So think about this. When an ant encounters an obstacle, it doesn't just stop or complain, resonate, or give up. It finds another way. Ants don't question their ability to overcome. They just keep moving forward. But what if we adopted that mindset? How many times have we let roadblocks slow us down, deter us from achieving our goals? So this idea of an ant, if you can visualize this, it really reminds us to stay relentless and find another path, another way forward until we actually reach the outcome we're striving for. But how do we really start to see this in our lives? We start to turn things from an I should to an I will. Here's the thing, I should keeps us stuck in the realm of intention, but I will transforms intention into action. When you shift your mindset and declare I will, you're making a commitment to show up, follow through, no matter what. So my question for you right now is, what mountains are in your life? What's holding you back? The language of I will equips you to climb them, summit them, or navigate around them. until you get what you want and you succeed. This small little shift can be the catalyst for turning ordinary days into extraordinary achievements. But you have to show up. We also have to understand that failure is a step, not the end. Failure is not your enemy, it's your ally. Every setback, every misstep teaches us something vital. Failure is a part of the process. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it and using it to fuel your growth. And maybe when you fail, it's affirmation that you're going in the right direction. So the question isn't whether you'll face challenges. It's whether you'll actually use them as stepping stones towards your success. The answer to that lies in your ability to embrace failure as an essential part of becoming your best, not a distraction. But we also have to understand that we always have the power of choice. To grow to your full potential, you have to remind yourself of that on a daily basis. Imagine the tallest tree in the forest. It doesn't just stop growing because it's hard. It reaches as high as it possibly can, fulfilling its full potential. So why should we, with the gift of choice, settle for anything less? We all have the power to choose greatness. I hope that makes you a little uncomfortable to say that, to stretch beyond your limits, to be the tallest tree in your forest. But the beauty of life lies in deciding to grow into the best version of yourself, not because you have to, but because you can and you get to. But how do we get there? Discipline. Discipline is the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. And the dreams without discipline are just wishes. So what separates those who thrive from those who settle is the disciplined action that actually transforms their desires into reality. It's about showing up daily, doing the work, staying consistent, even when you don't want to, and even when it's hard. So when you align your actions and your ambitions, and you create this ripple effect in your own life that extends far beyond yourself, you're not just living, you're building, and you're building a legacy. So this idea of not just being, but becoming, let this power of becoming be the thing that motivates you every single day. So at the end of the day, it's not about what you acquire, it's about who you become. The greatest treasure is the transformation that happens along the way. The skills you master, the resilience you build, and the person you evolve into, the person you become. And let's face it, even when the journey takes unexpected turns, it's always worth it. Dare to dream boldly, live with relentless determination, just like an ant. Pursue your most extraordinary self without settling for less. Move beyond the obstacles. I appreciate you joining this episode, but we have to keep this momentum going and keep striving and growing. And you really have to understand the power of living with purpose. And so as you think about in your own life, what barriers, what obstacles have you allowed to make you change your course? I'm on this journey with you. There's lots of things around this podcast, this business, doing 2 different types of jobs at the same time. The way I was posting content 7 years ago is completely different than now. Sometimes we do things and it works. Sometimes we don't. But really, there's another great book called Obstacle is the Way. And if you haven't read that book, go read it. But I'll summarize it quickly, so it's going to be a bit of a spoiler. But it's really just understanding that maybe the obstacles that same ant looks at, right? That ant sees the obstacle and goes around. And then you'll see every ant that follows it goes around it. Maybe your ability to handle obstacles and see them as things that are helping you along the way instead of things preventing you from getting you from where you want to be. And maybe other people around you will start to follow that example. Overcoming adversity, not by complaining about it, not by feeling like, you're being punished for pursuing something. Maybe it's just you were meant to go in a different direction. You were meant to become something different while you were on your journey to whatever you're striving for, whether it's in your personal life or your professional life. But we have to understand that it just takes this acknowledgement that we are going to have adversity in our lives, but we always get the choice to look at and treat that adversity differently. That's one of the things through my journey, through my personal experiences, There are going to be tough things that happen in life, and there are tough things that happen in my life. But this mindset work that we're doing on this podcast, I tell you, it saved my life. It saved this business. It saved this podcast. It saved the books, because I've learned how to handle adversity, not wish that it didn't happen, but now I actually work on using it to my advantage, because the adversity is happening for me to help me become the person that is still sitting in front of you today. Because yes, there are lots of opportunities for me to pack it up, say it didn't work, say the business isn't happening fast enough, and for me to walk away. That option's always there. It used to be. It's not there for me anymore. This consistent persistence of believing that what we're doing here matters, because the messages that I get from you all saying how these podcasts have impacted your life and your family's life and your kids' life, that's why we do this, because we know that this growth is possible for us if we're just willing to admit that maybe we need to pick it back up. Maybe we need to keep doing the things that we said we wanted to do, but when it got hard, we stopped doing it. Because I can tell you, I've been doing this for 11 years now. And most of you, maybe this is the first time you've heard an episode, or maybe you've been listening for all the years. And I've had some of you that reach out to me that started listening from the first episode to now, and you've said, wow, what a change. Same guy, but different heart, different mind, different energy, different passion, different purpose. But you have to start to really think about the adversity that you're getting, that you're having to go through. Maybe it's shaping you. It's not breaking you. So I know some of you, depending on where you live and depending on the season of the year, you may not see an ant. You may not see a perfect example of this, but Google the adversity, the strength and perseverance of an ant. It's pretty cool. But I wanted to give you a quick visual just so that you could kind of start to understand that no matter the size of the obstacle of the adversity, you always have a choice to move past it, move around it, and become the person that you need to be so that you can get where you want to go. So I hope this episode resonated with you. Again, the topic of ants is a little off our normal cadence, but we're going to have some fun with these episodes and give you some great visuals and stories. So I hope you take this as an opportunity to really sit back and think about what is some adversity that you need to face. What is that conversation you need to have? What is that thing you need to heal from? Because sometimes the obstacles aren't external, they're internal. So if self-sabotage is something that is maybe your barrier, keep tuning in. I did an episode a while ago on that. We're going to keep pouring into that because it's a pretty prominent topic in the world these days, because there's a lot of comparison happening. And so maybe we're the only thing holding ourselves back. So stay resilient, stay remarkable, stay persistent, and stay consistent. And remember why you started. So I hope this episode's meaningful for you. And if you haven't hit subscribe, go ahead and do that now. And I will remind you, like I do on every episode, that you always have the power and the choice to reshape your mindset, live with intention, and look at the world through a grateful lens. Until the next episode, never stop.